Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are welcome to yet another edition of our online class, Chemistry for SS2 students, coming to you from Islamic College, Oshogbo. Today, inshallah, we are going to talk about destructive distillation of coal. You know, we have been talking about carbon. We have been talking about allotropes of carbon. One of the allotropes is coal. We have talked about formation of coal, its uses. We have talked about so many other things about allotropes of carbon. Today, we will look at destructive distillation of coal, also called industrial distillation of coal, as well as gasification of coke. Destructive distillation. Destructive distillation is also called industrial distillation, as I've mentioned before, and it involves heating coal at a very high temperature of 600 degrees Celsius to 1200 degrees Celsius in the absence of air. So when coal is heated in the absence of air at a very high temperature, it forms certain products, and that process is called destructive distillation of coal. What are the products of destructive distillation of coal? These include coal gas, ammoniacal liquor, coal tar, and coke. So mentioning them in that order is the decreasing order of volatility. That is increasing order of boiling point. Coal gas is the most volatile among them. The second most volatile among the products of destructive distillation of coal is ammoniacal liquor. Coal tar is the third most volatile. Coke is the non-volatile. So an examiner may ask you, name the non-volatile residue of destructive distillation of coal. Your straightforward answer is coke. Now, we are going to look at each of these products one after the other. The first one is coal gas. Just as the name appears, it is a gas. It's in gaseous form, and it's a mixture of certain gases, which include hydrogen, methane, carbon dioxide, and traces of sulfur oxide. It also contains traces of hydrogen sulfide, and it is mainly used as fuel, as it is a better fuel than coal itself, and it's a better fuel than all other products of destructive distillation of coal. This is one of the advantages of destructive distillation of coal. If we distill coal destructively, we get other products which are better fuel than coal itself. The next one is ammoniacal liquor. As the name appears, it is in liquid form, but it is a volatile liquid, that is having low boiling points, and it is made up of ammonia as well as benzene. Ammonia is useful, so because when it reacts with tetrasulfate 6 acid, it forms ammonium tetraoxosulfate 6, which is a very useful fertilizer. The third product is coal tar. Coal tar is a thick, brownish, viscous liquid. From that, you know that coal tar, even though ammoniacal liquor and coal tar are liquid, but coal tar has higher boiling point than ammoniacal liquor. It contains many important organic compounds like benzene. You can find benzene in coal tar. You can also find benzene in ammoniacal liquor. So coal tar contains benzene, It contains methylbenzene, which is also called toluene. It contains phenol. It contains naphthalene. It contains cresol. It contains anthracene, please, and it contains pitch. All these organic compounds. So, if we subject coal tar to fractional distillation, we get benzene out, toluene out separately. We get each of the products can be extracted separately as a result of fractional distillation of coal tar. Benzene and toluene are used for motor spirits. They are used as solvents for dyes, and they are used in making drugs. Cresol and phenols are used as preservative for wood and in production of disinfectants. Naphthalene is also used as a disinfectant, while anthracene is used in making dyes. Pitch is one of those raw materials used by the civil engineers in road construction. Now, the fourth product, that is the non-volatile residue of destructive distillation of coal, is bituminous coal, is coke. Coke is also an amorphous form of carbon, and it is usually grey, hard, and porous. What are the uses of coke? Coke is used in the production of producer gas, which we are going to talk about later, as well as water gas, which we are going to talk about later. It is used as domestic fuel as well. It is used as a reducing agent in metallurgy. Some of you will study metallurgy in the university. That is the aspect of chemistry that deals with extraction and uses of metals. So coke is used in extracting metals. At least, if you don't remember anything, you remember that in the extraction of iron in the blast furnace, coke is one of the solid raw materials that is incorporated into the blast furnace, which will reduce iron 3 oxide to iron. Coke is also used in the manufacture of calcium carbide, which we usually call carbide. It is used in the manufacture of silicon carbide. It is used in the manufacture of calcium carbide. Gasification of coke. In order to improve the quality of what you can get from coke, because as useful as coke, it is not an efficient fuel. So you can get better efficient fuel from coke by gasifying coke. From your experience, you would have understood that gaseous fuels are usually more efficient than liquid and solid fuel. So when we have solid fuel, what the chemists will think of is how do we convert such solid fuel to gaseous fuel so that it would be more efficient. So the process of converting coke to gaseous fuel is called gasification of coke. And the gaseous fuel that can be easily obtained from coke are called water gas and producer gas. The two of them collectively are called synthesis gas. Producer gas. Producer gas is obtained when coke is heated in a furnace in a limited supply of oxygen, and it's a mixture of carbon dioxide CO and nitrogen N2 in ratio 1 to 2. That is, when we have one portion of calcium oxide, that is carbon dioxide, we have 2 portions of nitrogen. So you can, according to the equation that you can see here, 4 molecules of nitrogen, 1 molecule of oxygen, and 2 atoms or molecules of carbon react to form 2 moles of carbon 2 oxide and 4 moles of nitrogen together with it, and the reaction is highly exothermic. The heat generated is so much that it can sustain the reaction to produce water gas at the same time, because production of water gas, which is the next thing to discuss, is endothermic. It requires heat to come in, while the first reaction is exothermic. That is why, for economic purpose, it is economical to produce the 2 gases in the same plant. So as producer gas is being produced, which generates heat because it's exothermic, the heat generated will spur the production of water gas. Water gas on its own is prepared by passing steam through red hot coke at about 1000 degrees Celsius. Water gas on its own case is a mixture of carbon 2 oxide and hydrogen. I think it's very easy to remember. Water gas contains carbon 2 oxide and hydrogen. Producer gas contains carbon 2 oxide and nitrogen. Water gas is made of carbon 2 oxide and hydrogen in ratio 1:1. That is equal moles of the 2 gases. So when steam is passed over carbon, you get water gas. The reaction in this case is endothermic. Now next is advantage of gasification of coke, which I have told you before. Why do we need to gasify coke if it is for fuel purpose? Both gases are mainly used as gaseous fuel, but they are better fuel than coke. That is, gasification of coke results in production of better gas than coke and other solid fuels. Also, gases that are produced as a result of gasification of coke are cleaner gases that generate more heat and produce less smoke. However, between water gas and producer gas, which one is better? Water gas is better fuel than producer gas, because water gas is made up of carbon 2 oxide, which is combustible, hydrogen, which is combustible. So the heat that will be generated as a result of burning water gas will be much. Compare this to producer gas, which is made up of carbon 2 oxide and nitrogen. Carbon 2 oxide is combustible, but nitrogen is not combustible. Therefore, only one component is combustible, and that will limit the amount of heat that can be generated by producer gas. At this point, we are going to end our lesson for today, but the question that may arise is, as we have mentioned the advantages of using synthesis gases over solid fuel, don't they have disadvantage? We are going to discuss that in our subsequent lessons. May Allah grant you understanding of your lesson.